Okay, so we're just gonna go over a couple quick golf stretches before you get out and play. I like to use the longest club I have, which would be a driver, but instead for me I got a super speed stick. Obviously if you don't have these, take a driver. My next club I like to use is one of my heaviest ones. For me, I have an old 60-degree Rust, and I like to use this. If you have one of these, I'd recommend it, or take whatever your heaviest club is. First things first, we're just gonna take one, that driver, or for me, my super speed, and I'm gonna just rotate my wrist. My arms parallel to the floor, rotate back and forth. Trying to loosen the wrist and the forearms up first before doing anything. And I usually just do a mental clock of like 10 seconds or so. After I've done that, I stay with the same arm. My wrist stays up, and it's flexion and extension. If you don't know what that is, literally just turning your wrist down and up, down and up. Still getting my forearm, getting my wrist going, my arm parallel to the floor. Same thing after about 10 seconds or so. I'm gonna turn, so now my fist is facing towards the camera. From there, really taking side to side. To be safe, I just kind of tap my shoulder with the shaft of the club. It's not going to hurt or anything like that. The same thing with rigging and moving, rotating, moving the entire time. After I've done the same thing, about 10 seconds or so on the right or left, whatever you started with. In my case with the right arm, one on my left arm. And you same that thing, rotating back and forth, up, down, up, down. Speed can vary. If this feels hard, just take it down, slow it down a little bit. Do the same idea, just do it a little bit slower. Same thing, so down. After 10 seconds or so, back and forth. Extension, flexions, non-stop. Same thing. Your pace is on you. If this isn't very difficult for you, pick the pace up. If you're feeling loose, definitely go faster. And same thing. I'm going to push the side here, back and forth, back and forth. These are easy stretches to do. If you feel like you're going to look funny doing it at the golf course, whatever, do it before you get there then. But I recommend doing it while you're there. So after I've gotten those, I'm now going to take the driver for my case, the Super Beast, the long club I have. It's above my head, and I'm taking it back behind my shoulders. Starting to feel that stretch. When you start to feel it, all you're going to do now is just bring it down so it's behind your head. I'm just going to rotate my upper body only, trying to keep my lower body still. Back and forth, same thing, mental clock. Try to feel your obliques on this. So if you're not sure what the obliques are, it's at your sides. I'm going to go back with the club above my head. I'm literally just going to try to go straight down to like a squat on this one. So just an overhead squat. If you're familiar with that at all, straight up, straight down. Same thing. After 10 seconds or so, now I'm going to take that club with both hands are still on it. Reach it back as far as I can, bring it down to my hips. So back as far as I can. So I'll stick with my driver still, the longest club I have for this one. And all I'm going to do is a nice easy swing. So maybe back, forth. Same thing, about 10 seconds or so, or a certain number of swings you'd like to do. We're still not done though, so now we need to get our lower body involved. I'm going to ditch the driver, pick up my heavier club, so for me it's that 60-degree wedge. It's going to go across my chest. I'm going to try not to move my hips on this. I'm literally just going to move my upper body, shoulders, side to side. Again, you should feel your obliques a little bit on this. If the lower body wants to turn, you're going to try to stop it. So now I'm still going to keep this here. And now I'm going to focus on just my hips doing the movement. My shoulders just stay still, and I like to use a club to really see what's going on if I'm moving all over the place. Instead, my hips are just turning side to side. If you can't really see that, I'm literally just pushing my hip one way, pushing it forward. So not side to side, it's turn, 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 turn. And after same thing, about 10 seconds or so, or if you want to take a certain rep number, take that rep number. Now I'm going to go wide stance. Again, still with that heavier club. I'm going to keep it on my hips, and I'm just going to push to one side. I'm going to push to the opposite side. Again, trying to get everything nice and loose here. And as I'm doing this, pace is on you. If you're feeling very tight and stiff, just go a little bit slower. Hit a point and try to push this a little bit further. My feet are staying grounded, so I'm not trying to rotate up on my heel or even on the sides of my feet. Stay grounded, push my hips, push my hips. And lastly, we're going to focus on now trying to get the back of the legs stretched here, a little bit in the quads. If you can't touch your toes, so in my case I'm able to touch my toes, all you're going to do is take one foot, you're going to lift that heel, toe off the ground so the heel stays down, and now I'm going to reach to grab that one. If I have to bend my knees, that's fine. But we're going to grab it, try to straighten our legs out the most we can. Same thing, after a certain count for you, 10 seconds or so, same thing on the other side. completed all those same ideas. It's about 10 seconds or so for each thing, or a certain rep count when you're actually doing the swings or that. Give it a try before you start. I'm telling you right now, you're going to feel completely different when you get to the first tee.